Hello students, today we are going to start the third English lesson for 11th standard, The Call of the Soil, Ascent of Rise. It is actually written by Venkateshwaran Iyer, who born in 1966. He is a science graduate and certified project management professional. He last worked with IBM in Mumbai as a project manager for software implementation. After 17 years in the IT industry, he quit in 2004 to live on his organic farm in Pet village in Dahanu Taluka, Palghar district, Maharashtra. His book, Mung Over Microchips, traces means finds his transition means transformation from a technical man to farmer over a period of 15 to 17 years. It was not a career change but a lifestyle change I was looking for, he says about his decision to shift to the quieter environs of a village. He insisted on practicing organic farming from the outset. Outset means from beginning he wanted to practice organic farming. He was resolute, he was firm in spite of numerous challenges which he faced. Today not only does he deliver lectures on organic farming but also has joined hands with organic farmers and NGOs working in the organic field to propagate means to promote organic farming, to ensure that the land at least is not ravaged while they try to make a living out of agriculture. So with one proper thought he was taking with him, that you will not be deceived by your farm, your land, because naturally whatever things you will put in that land, it will give you double. So it will not ravaged, it will not destroy you, land will save you your life. मित्रांनो, व्यंकटेश्वरन अय्यर यांनी जे मूंग ओव्हर मायक्रोचिप्स नावाचं जे पुस्तक लिहिले त्या पुस्तकातला हा एक भाग आहे. मी ह्या पुस्तकामध्ये त्यांनी सांगितले की कशा पद्धतीने IT इंडस्ट्री सोडून IBM मध्ये 16-17 वर्ष काम करून ह्या माणसाने ती इंडस्ट्री सोडून ऑर्गॅनिक फार्मिंगकडे तो वळला, म्हणजे नैसर्गिक शेतीकडे. आता त्याच्यामध्ये डिफरन्स काय, नैसर्गिक शेती आणि अनैसर्गिक शेती. नैसर्गिक शेतीमध्ये तुम्हाला निसर्गतः जे पीक तुम्ही घेताय ते निसर्गतः येऊ दिले जात आहे, म्हणजे त्याच्यामध्ये कोणतं तुम्हाला खत द्यावं लागत नाही, केमिकल, त्याच्यामुळे तुम्हाला औषध फवारावं लागत नाही आहे. निसर्गतः जे पीक येईल ते पीक. इट इज कॉल्ड ऑर्गॅनिक फार्मिंग. आता हायब्रिड अनऑर्गॅनिक फार्मिंग म्हणजे काय की हायब्रिड सीड्स, की दोन प्रकारचे वाण एकत्र करून तयार केलेलं सीड्स ते तुम्ही रुजवताय तुमच्या शेतामध्ये, की जे तुम्हाला खूप मोठ्या प्रमाणामध्ये पीक देत आहे, ज्याला तुम्हाला खत खूप वापरावं लागतं आहे, युरिया वापरावं लागतं आहे, तुम्हाला वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे पेस्टिसाइड्स औषधं वापरावं लागतं आहे, कीटकनाशकं वापरावं लागतं आहे. तर ते अनऑर्गॅनिक. ऑर्गॅनिक आणि अनऑर्गॅनिकमधला हा फरक आहे. आता हा मनुष्य पछाडलेला होता ऑर्गॅनिक फार्मिंगसाठी, नैसर्गिक शेतीसाठी. त्याच्यामुळे त्यांनी पेठ नावाचं जे खेडं आहे डहाणू तालुक्यातलं, तिथं त्यांनी शेती विकत घेतली आणि 16-17 वर्ष राबून जो एक्सपिरियन्स आला आहे तो सगळ्या महत्त्वाच्या गोष्टी त्यांनी ह्या पुस्तकामध्ये लिहिलेल्या मूंग ओव्हर मायक्रोचिप्स. आताच्या घडीला आजूबाजूच्या शेतकऱ्यांना मदत करणं, ऑर्गॅनिक फार्मिंगकडे त्यांना वळवणं, वेगवेगळे लेक्चर्स देणं, हे काम व्यंकटेश्वरन अय्यर करत आहेत. आणि त्यांचा पूर्ण विश्वास आहे की जमीन ही तुम्हाला कधीही उद्ध्वस्त करणार नाही. जरी तुम्ही खूप प्रयत्न करून तिला उद्ध्वस्त करण्याचा प्रयत्न केला तरी तुम्ही जे पेराल ते निसर्गतः येईलच येईल. ह्या ध्येयानिशी, ह्या चांगल्या विचारानिशी त्यांनी ऑर्गॅनिक फार्मिंगकडे मोर्चा वळवला आहे आणि लोकांना ते मदत करताय, लोकांना सांगताय की ऑर्गॅनिक फार्मिंगचं महत्त्व किती आहे आणि ऑर्गॅनिक फार्मिंगकडे वळण्यासाठी त्यांचं मन परिवर्तन करताय. आता ह्या लेसनमध्ये हा जो पाठ आहे आपल्याला द कॉल ऑफ द सॉईल अ सेंट ऑफ राईस, याच्यामध्ये त्यांनी एक तांदळाचा वाण जो लुप्त होणार होता कसबाई, तो त्यांनी मोठ्या कष्टाने शोधून काढला आणि त्याचं उत्पन्न ते घ्यायला लागले. तो कसा शोधला, काय काय गोष्टी त्यांना आल्या, त्या सगळ्या गोष्टी त्यांनी ह्या पाठामध्ये सांगण्याचा प्रयत्न केलेला आहे. लेट्स स्टार्ट. द कॉल ऑफ द सॉईल, अ सेंट ऑफ राईस, द फर्स्ट क्रॉप. It was April 2004. I stood in the middle of the lush green field of Moong and looked around me. When he purchased his farm in 2004, he sowed a crop of Moong in his farm, and shoots of these Moong is easily observed in April. It was just before sunrise, and the sky was turning bright orange. The ground was damp, and the leaves were shining with dew. My bare feet were muddy as I walked around gingerly, inspecting the plants. So, curiously, carefully, he walked with barefooted in that field and started observing the small shoots having dews on leaves early in the morning. So it was a new thing. It was his first experience related to farming. Around me were rows of chiku trees and below of a dense foliage of moong. So around that moong crop, various trees of chikus were there in that field. At that point, I could not have asked for anything more. The moong plants, not more than 2 feet tall, had green pods hanging out. The pods were not yet ripe. There was a light fuzz growing on them. So acute observation you can see there. He started observing these crops, and he told that after this moong became 2 feet high, it started pods were observed hanging to that 2 feet tall tree. It is moong plant. The pods were not yet ripe, and there was a light fuzz. So fur is observed on that pods. There was still some time before harvest. I felt exhilarated. So he was very happy when he started observing the pods of moong. मित्रांनो, 2004ला ज्यावेळेस त्यांनी ते फार्म विकत घेतलं, पहिलं जे पीक घेतलं ते होतं मुंगाचं. आता मूग पेरल्यानंतर सुरुवातीचा पहिल्या 2-3 दिवसानंतर छोटे छोटे रोपं दिसायला लागले होते त्या शेतामध्ये, की जे शेत चिक्कूच्या झाडांनी वेढलेलं होतं. छोटं मुंगाची रोपं दिसायला लागली होती, ज्याच्यावर दवबिंदू पडलेले होते. सकाळ सकाळी एकदम आल्हाददायक दृश्य ते दिसत होतं. आणि हा मनुष्य आरामात पावलं टाकत काळजीपूर्वक एक एक शूट्स त्या झाडाचं बघत होता त्या पिकांमध्ये. त्याच्यानंतर त्यांनी इथं सांगितलं आहे की ज्यावेळेस ते 2 फूट उंच झालं तर त्याला फळं लागायला लागले, आणि मुगाची ज्या शेंगा आहे त्या झाडावर दिसायला लागल्या, की ज्या शेंगाच्या भोवती वरती तुम्हाला फरसारखं आवरण दिसायला लागतंय. ते त्यांनी सांगितले, ते बघितलं मी, आणि हे बघून मला खूप आनंद झाला. I stood watching the sun rise above the towering trees across the fence and slowly made my way back to the house. A white structure in the middle of this greenery. So white structure is nothing but his house. So his house is surrounded by various different type of trees and mung crop. I could not believe that I was the owner of this land and that I was looking at my first crop as a farmer. So it was unbelievable thing for him when he observed these mung crops. He could not believe that it is his own farm and he has successfully grown this particular crop in his field. After I had paid the advance money for the land, I thought I would have some time to get familiar with farming. But Moru Dada, the broker who got us the land, had other ideas. He was keen that we plant mung at once. It was not prepared for this. I was not prepared for this. I was still reading books and trying to figure out what we could sow and how we should go about it. Moru Dada was quite firm. He said the season was right for sowing mung and the best seeds were available in Surat, in the adjacent means neighboring town. So in this particular part, he informed us that how he purchased that land and with the help of Moru Dada, and he heard that Moru Dada's decision that it is best season to grow mung, and he heard Moru Dada's decision and he sow mung, purchasing these seeds from Surat. मित्रांनो, हे फार्म त्यांनी घेतलं. ते पीक ते बघत असताना त्यांना स्वतःवर विश्वास बसेनासा झाला की ह्या शेताचा खरोखरच मी मालक आहे का. आणि मग त्यांना आठवायला लागलं की कशा पद्धतीने मोरू दादा नावाच्या ब्रोकरनी हे फार्म त्यांना विकत घेण्यासाठी मदत केली. आणि मोरू दादाने सांगितलं की हा सीझन हा मूग वा रोपासाठी पिकासाठी खूप चांगला आहे. म्हणून मोरू दादाचं ऐकून त्यांनी मग मुगाचं पीक घेण्याचं ठरवलं. State of Gujarat. I made a quick trip to Surat and bought around 10 kilograms of mung. Moru Dada rented his tractor to plow the land and quickly planted mung all over the place. So Moru Dada helped Venkat Iyer to plow that field and to sow that seeds which he had purchased from Surat. A few days later, we were overjoyed to see tiny green leaves. I had never seen mung growing before and was thrilled at the sight. It was the same thrill I had felt as a young boy when I saw the first of the hibiscus I had planted bloom at the railway quarter in Vile Parle in Mumbai. I was grateful to have taken Moru's advice. So, they purchased 10 kilograms of mung from Surat and they sowed that mung in his field. And when he found small tiny green leaves of that mung, he became very happy and he recalled the same incident. He feels like a child and he recalled one incident when he was a boy. He successfully grow hibiscus plant, and when that plant bloomed, started growing hibiscus flowers, he was very much happy. The same experience he was enjoying when he observed that small shoots of mung. मित्रांनो, जवळच सुरत शहर असल्यामुळे सुरतला जाऊन त्यांनी 10 किलोग्राम मूग आणले आणि ते पेरले. ते पेरल्यानंतर ज्यावेळेस 3-4 दिवसानंतर जमिनीवर जे छोटे छोटे रोपं दिसायला लागले मुगाचे, ते बघून यांना एक इन्सिडेंट आठवला. त्यांनी लहानपणी जे जास्वंदाचं झाड लावलं होतं आणि त्या जास्वंदाच्या झाडाला ज्यावेळेस पहिलं फूल आलं, ते बघून जेवढा आनंद झाला तसाच आनंद त्यांना हे पीक बघून झाला होता आणि त्यांनी मोरू दादाचं ऐकलं होतं. The next thing Moru Dada wanted to do was spray some pesticides on the plants. Moru Dada wanted to use pesticides. He claimed that it would give a higher yield. This was something we did not want to do. We were clear that we would not use any chemicals and tried to explain it to him. So they decided to do organic farming, and for that purpose they are not ready to use any type of pesticides in their field. Moru Dada insisted that by using these pesticides you will get good crops, you will get higher yield, but they unheard Moru Dada's suggestion. He reacted as if we had suggested harakiri. Harakiri means kill yourself by cutting your own stomach. So Moru Dada thought that they will experience loss if they unheard my suggestion. It took a lot of convincing to ensure that Moru Dada and his friend did not use any chemicals on the farm. So they told Moru Dada clearly not to use any chemicals. They refused to understand how crops could grow without sprays, and Moru Dada was confused that how will that crops survive and grow properly if we are not able to use any type of pesticides. Contrary to what everyone had told us, nature did her job and she needed no bribes to get the work done. So nature don't need any type of bribe. It help that plant to grow naturally. It helps that plant to grow naturally. Soon it was harvest time and we managed a respectable 300 kilograms. So successfully they get good yield of 300 kilograms. मित्रांनो, चांगलं उत्पन्न घेण्यासाठी आपण पेस्टिसाइड्स वापरलं पाहिजे, कीटकनाशक वापरलं पाहिजे असं मोरू दादा म्हणत होते. परंतु इथं ह्या लोकांनी, अय्यर आणि त्यांच्या पत्नीने त्यांना सांगितलं की कोणत्याही प्रकारचं पेस्टिसाइड्स वापरायचं नाही, आपल्याला ऑर्गॅनिक शेती करायची आहे. आणि मोरू दादा आणि त्यांचे मित्र थोडे कन्फ्यूज झाले की कसं पीक येईल, जर आपण कीटकनाशक वापरले नाही तर पीक येणार कसं काय. परंतु निसर्ग हा पिकाला मदत करत असतो वाढण्यासाठी, जोमासण्यासाठी. त्याला कोणत्याही प्रकारची लाचेची गरज नसते. निसर्ग हा प्रत्येक पिकाला सपोर्ट करत असतो, मदत करत असतो. आणि अशा पद्धतीने 300 किलोग्रामचं त्यांना मुंगाचं पीक झालं. अँड ऑफुल lot of mung and with it a lot of confidence. So when successfully they grew 300 kilograms of mung, their confidence became double. They regained their confidence back. Now I was certain the land was fertile and that it was possible to grow crops without chemicals. It was a major moral booster. So when he regained his confidence back, he come to know that his land which he recently purchased is fertile, and without any chemicals you can grow different type of crops there in this field. And it was a major moral booster. So automatically their confidence became double because successfully they grew 300 kilograms of mung. The scent of rice. The first year I was late for the rice sowing season and had to resort means depend, to growing the GR4 variety. It is one of the rice variety that was short term and recommended by the agricultural officers of Kosbad. So agricultural officer of Kosbad suggested him it is better to grow GR4 variety of rice because it is late and this particular variety will grow fast. So it is better to grow this variety. The next year we decided that we would start early and try to find some good traditional varieties of rice, and knew that they did not require very high inputs of fertilizers. These varieties were also quite strong and resisted pests. we were sure that it was this type of rice that would grow well in our farm where we did not use any chemicals at all. Our previous years' experience and low yield had taught us a lesson, and we were sure we would not plant hybrids this year. So, when after taking moong, next crops which they had taken was GR4 variety of rice, and it was hybrid type of rice. They have to use pesticides and other things, but they decided firmly that next year they will not use any pesticides and chemicals, and whatever crops they will take in their farm, it will be organic. The variety of that crop, that rice, will not be what you call will not be hybrid. मित्रांनो, इथे त्यांना उशीर झाल्यामुळे त्यांनी GR4 नावाची एक तांदळाचं व्हरायटी आहे ती त्यांनी पेरली आणि त्यांना बऱ्यापैकी उत्पन्न झालं. परंतु त्यांनी नंतर ठरवलं की आपण केमिकल्स वापरायचे नाही. पुढच्या वर्षीपासून जे काही उत्पन्न आपण घेणार आहे ते हायब्रिड घेणार नाही, आपण ऑर्गॅनिक टाईपचंच उत्पन्न घेऊ, कोणत्याही प्रकारचे पेस्टिसाइड्स आणि केमिकल्स आपण वापरणार नाही. In April 2005, we started to look for a good variety of traditional rice. Paramparik, that is traditional rice, they wanted to grow there in their farm. It was one of our neighbors in the village, a businessman from Mumbai who owned land, who suggested that we plant a local scented variety of rice. Most of the farmers in and around the village of Pet had switched over to hybrids. The younger generation of farmers thought I was crazy to ask for desi variety, as they called it. So, as he decided to grow local variety of rice in his field, and for that purpose, to get seeds of that local variety, he started asking people around him, and people consider him as a mad, that instead of growing hybrid seeds, he is trying to grow local variety of crops. The younger generation of farmers thought I was crazy to ask for desi variety, as they called it. My regular visits to the villages around searching for a good traditional variety also did not yield any result, and we were almost giving up hope. So, he started asking local variety seeds from people living around him, but he didn't get any type of seeds, local seeds from them. I decided to give it one last try and spoke to Baban's father and some other elders. After many meaningful conversations, they mentioned the name of Kasbai. So, he decided to ask about local variety from old people, and there was Baban's father. He asked Baban's father whether there is any traditional variety available here now or not. Kasbai is a traditional long grain rice variety which had a distinct aroma, though much milder than basmati. It's a long duration crop, and most of the older people remembered growing it years ago, but they all shook their heads when I asked them about the seeds and told me that it had disappeared. So, Baban's father recalled that some time ago Kasbai was a traditional variety of rice they used to grow in their field, and it was a long duration crop, but it is not available, he expressed sorrowfully, because it had disappeared. No one grow this crop now he informed them की मित्रांनो, आपण जी ट्रॅडिशनल वाण आहे तांदळाची ती आपण पेरावी, असा ह्या व्यंकट अय्यरांनी विचार केला. आणि तसा भाताची जात, तो वाण भेटतोय का कुठे हे शोधण्याचा त्यांनी प्रयत्न केला. आणि प्रयत्न करत असताना बबन्सचे जे वडील होते, जे जुने जाणते होते, त्यांना त्यांनी विचारलं आणि त्यांनी मग एक नाव सांगितलं, एका भाताचा वाण त्यांनी सांगितला, कसबाई, की ह्या कसबाईला सुगंध होता ह्या भाताच्या वाणाला, बासमती राईससारखाच तो आहे, परंतु तो वाढायला खूप वेळ लागायचा. त्याच्यामुळे लोकांनी ते कसबाईचं उत्पन्न घ्यायला थांबवून टाकलं, सोडून दिलं. आणि त्याच्यामुळे हा भाताचा वाण कुठे भेटेल की नाही ते सांगता येत नाही. द टेल्स ऑफ कसबाई मेड अस मोर डिटरमाइंड टू गेट इट. We decided that if we did manage to get some seeds, this would be a great rice to grow. Now, when Baban's father informed him about that kasbai, he decided to search that particular variety of rice. If they successfully searched that particular variety of rice, it would be a great rice to grow. I thought the government may know something about it. A visit to the agricultural office was enlightening. He had not even heard of this rice variety. He said the villagers were taking me for a ride and there was no rice by this name. So whether government officers know it or not, let's check. And with this intention, he met a government officer, agricultural officer, and that agricultural officer informed him that that type of brand, that kasbai, is not there and these villagers are making you fool. In this way he told Venkat Iyer. He rattled off the names of number of latest hybrids and even offered to give me some of them free of cost for a trial. And he insisted to grow hybrids, and he is ready to give as a sample to me. Cursing myself for wasting time with him, I moved on to the next destination. So he became very upset, and he, without any solution, he didn't get that particular rice brand's information. So it made it very unhappy. मित्रांनो, ज्यावेळेस बबनच्या वडिलांनी त्यांना सांगितली कसबाई नावाचं वाण होता आणि तो सुगंधी होता, बासमती इतका जास्त सुगंधी नव्हता, परंतु तरी त्याला एक प्रकारचा सुगंध होता. मग त्याची इन्फॉर्मेशन एखाद्या ॲग्रिकल्चरल ऑफिसरला माहिती त्यांनी बघावी म्हणून त्यांनी त्या ॲग्रिकल्चरल ऑफिसरला भेट दिली. त्या ॲग्रिकल्चरल ऑफिसरने त्यांना सांगितलं की इथली लोक तुम्हाला वेड्यात काढताय, असा कोणताच वाण नव्हता. त्याच्याऐवजी त्यांनी हायब्रिडचे काही नावं सांगितली आणि हायब्रिड तुम्ही पेरावं असं त्यांना सजेस्ट केलं. आता इथं व्यंकट अय्यर खूप चिडले की कशाला आपण त्या ॲग्रिकल्चरल ऑफिसरकडे गेलो, फुकटचा टाईमपास झाला असं त्यांना वाटायला लागलं. दिस टाईम इट वॉज द आदिवासी महामंडल ॲट कासा which buys rice from the Adivasi villagers on behalf of government. Kasbai did not figure in their files. Then they visited Adivasi Mahamandal at Kasa, and there the man of in charge informed him that yes, some time ago that type of rice were sold here, a good indication why people did not grow it anymore. The market itself did not recognize the rice, so if you grew it, you would not be able to sell it. However, the officers in charge here had more knowledge of rice and did remember Kasbai being sold to him a few years ago. So the in charge of that office informed him that yes, some time ago people used to grow this variety of rice, but in market the recognition for that rice was not given, so people cannot recognize that rice as a good crop, and that is why the farmer who grew it could not sell it and get good money from it. It won't happen. The officer in charge here had more knowledge of rice and did remember Kasbai being sold to him a few years ago. मित्रांनो, आदिवासी महामंडळ कासा इथे त्यांनी नंतर भेट दिली आणि भेट दिल्यानंतर त्यांना एक कळलं की कसबाई नावाचा वाण कधी काळी इथं विकायला यायचा, परंतु हा कसबाईला बाजारामध्ये व्यवस्थित ओळखलं जायचं नाही. तो वाण प्रतिष्ठित नसल्या कारणाने त्याला चांगला पैसा भेटायचा नाही आणि त्याच्यामुळे ज्या लोकांनी तो वाण वापरला त्यांच्या शेतामध्ये आणि रुजवला, पीक घेतलं, त्यांना नीटसा पैसा यायचा आणि त्याच्यामुळे लोकांनी मग तो वाण उगवणं सोडून दिलं आणि ते हायब्रिडकडे वळले. सो व्हेन आय इन धनिवरी बबन and I started looking for Devu Handa and found a graying old man wearing a cap sitting outside his house on charpoy. So Baban and he himself went to meet Dev Handa, a man in Dhanivari village. Old man, graying old man wearing a cap, who was sitting there on his cot. They met Dev Handa after that. An ex-sarpanch of village, he had acres of land, a huge house and large family. After exchanging the unusual pleasantries, we came to the topic of Kasbai. So they met Dev Handa. After formal conversation, they started asking main things about that Kasbai. The mere mention of Kasbai and Dev Handa drifted into the past. His eyes turned dreamy, and with a tremble in his voice, he told us how the entire village at one time grew only Kasbai. And Dev Handa started giving information about his past related to Kasbai, and he informed that most of the villagers used to grow Kasbai some time ago. He said there was a time when people passing our village during lunch time would be forced to stop and ask for meal. So this particular crop, that variety of rice Kasbai, is having alluring aroma, and most of the time the passerby used to stop and they demanded that rice from us because of its aroma. Such was the alluring aroma of Kasbai. The entire area would have this heady aroma hanging in the air as all the houses cooked the same rice. Today, he said, no one grew Kasbai and everyone had shifted to growing the new hybrid varieties. He claimed he had to force himself to eat the rice that was so insipid. Insipid means tasteless. So he himself shifted to hybrid and started consuming that tasteless varieties of rice. मित्रांनो, त्या बबन आणि स्वतः व्यंकट हे देव हंडाला भेटले. साधारण विचारपूस केल्यानंतर, थोड्या गप्पा मारल्यानंतर त्यांनी मुख्य मुद्द्याला हात घातला आणि तो मुख्य मुद्दा होता कसबाईचं पीक, कसबाईच्या सीड्स अवेलेबल आहे का. ज्यावेळेस कसबाई ह्या वाहनाचा विषय निघाला त्यावेळेस देवहंडाला जुन्या गोष्टी आठवायला लागल्या आणि देवहंडाने त्या सांगितल्या. त्या सांगताना देवहंडा सांगतोय की कधीकाळी पूर्ण व्हिलेज पूर्ण गाव हा वाण पिकवायचा आणि ज्यावेळेस दुपारच्या जेवणाच्या वेळेस एखादा वाटसरू जर जात असेल तर त्या वासाने, त्या भाताच्या वासाने तो वाटसरू थांबायचा गावामध्ये जेवणासाठी. असा मोहक सुगंध ह्या कसबाई नावाच्या वाहनाला होता. पूर्ण एरिया हा सुगंधित वासाने भरून जायचा. ज्यावेळेस लोक संध्याकाळी जेवण बनवायला लागायचे तो राईस टाकलेला असायचा शिजायला. परंतु नंतरच्या काळामध्ये लोक हायब्रिड वाण घ्यायला लागले आणि मी सुद्धा हायब्रिड वाण पिकवायला लागलो आणि मला विनाकारण बेचव तांदूळ आता खावे लागत आहेत. विथ द ॲडव्हंट ऑफ इरिगेशन farmers were tempted to grow a second crop and kasbai, being a long duration rice, was replaced by the shorter duration hybrids so that the harvest could be done earlier. So why people started growing hybrids? The reason he had given here, that irrigation facilities now available to farmers. Farmers wanted to take 2 crops in their field, so that is why they use hybrids. This ensured that the farmers could take up a second crop, so farmer can take now 2 crops. And kasbai is a long duration rice. It takes much time to grow, and that is why it is not profitable for them to take kasbai. So that is why farmers shifted hybrids and they started growing hybrids. आता फार्मर्स हायब्रिडकडे का वळले हे सांगताना तो फार्मर सांगतोय की आता इरिगेशनच्या फॅसिलिटीज उपलब्ध झाल्या फार्मर्सला. त्याच्यानंतर फार्मर्स त्या पाण्यामुळे 2 पिकं घेऊ शकत आहे त्याच्या शेतामध्ये. आणि कसबाई हा जो वाण होता तो जास्त वेळ घेणारा वाण होता. तो उगवायला जास्त वेळ लागतो आहे तुम्हाला. त्याच्यामुळे ते एकच पीक घेण्याच्या ऐवजी लोकांना 2 पीक घ्यायला लागले, तांदूळ आणि इतर दुसरं पीक. आणि त्याच्यामुळे लोकांनी कसबाई नावाचा वाण टाकून दिला आणि हायब्रिडकडे वळले. आय आस्क व्हाय ही हॅड शिफ्टेड इफ ही वॉज सो हॅपी विथ द हायब्रिड्स. नो वन फोर्स हिम टू डू, डिड दे? He smiled and replied that their fields did not have fences, and once the harvest was over, the cattle were released into the fields. If my field alone has kasbai, it will be treat for them, for these cattle, he explained. So, for what reason you shifted to hybrid? This was the question they asked to that farmer, that is Devhanda. Devhanda was asked by writer, for what reason you shifted from organic to farming, organic to hybrid? And he answered that I am not happy to shift from organic to hybrid. There is a reason. This crop took more time to grow, and the people around him, they grow hybrids, and after harvest only one crop that remains in my field, that is kasbai. And after harvest people used to let free their cattle, so these cattle would easily destroy my field, and for that reason each and every farmers started growing hybrids instead of kasbai. मित्रांनो, कसबाई तुम्ही का पिकवत नाही असा प्रश्न त्यांना विचारल्यानंतर, तुम्ही हायब्रिडकडे का वळला असा विचारल्यानंतर त्यांनी सांगितलं की मला कोणी फोर्स केला नाही, काही नाही, परंतु आमच्या शेतांना कंपाऊंड नसतं आणि जर मी कसबाई पिकवला तर तो वाढायला वेळ लागणार आहे आणि आजूबाजूच्या लोकांची हायब्रिड शेती असल्यामुळे त्यांचं उत्पादन लवकर होईल, हार्वेस्ट होईल, त्यांचं उत्पन्न आल्यानंतर कापणी झाल्यानंतर जनावरं ते सोडून देत आहे अशीच चरायला, ते सगळे जनावरं माझ्या हिरव्या त्या शेतामध्ये येतील आणि पूर्ण उत्पन्न नष्ट करतील, त्याच्यामुळे मी सुद्धा हायब्रिडकडे वळलो. समटाइम्स वी हॅव टू फॉल इन लाईन विथ द कम्युनिटी, ही लॅमेंटेड. Hybrids need more water, fertilizers and pesticides. Now that farmer informed him that you have to adjust with community because you are a part of that community. And hybrids need more water, fertilizers and pesticides. He said that yields were good initially but of late had reduced a lot. The drawback of hybrid is also observed by that farmer, and he informed that yes, you get good yield earlier, but after some time your land become infertile and you will not get good crops. That is the drawback of hybrid. Besides, he said that each year they had to increase the quantity of urea and pesticides they used. To grow proper crops they have to use different type of pesticides, the quantity they have to increase. It was as if the newer hybrid had an insatiable appetite for chemicals. So new crops need more and more pesticides. So these things happen about hybrids. मित्रांनो, इथं मग ते हंडा सांगताय की हायब्रिडचे दुष्परिणाम काय, तुम्हाला कम्युनिटीच्या बाहेर जाता येत नाही आहे, तुम्ही समाजाचा एक भाग आहे, समाजाशी विरोध करून तुम्हाला शेती करता येणं शक्य नाही, त्याच्यामुळे मलासुद्धा हायब्रिड शेतीकडे वळावं लागलं. ज्याला पाणी जास्त लागतं, खत जास्त लागतं आणि कीटकनाशकसुद्धा जास्त लागतं, जमिनीचा पोत कमी कमी होत जातो आहे. सुरुवातीला हायब्रिड जास्त उत्पन्न देतं, पण नंतर हायब्रिड बियाणं हे जास्तीचं तुम्हाला खत, पेस्टिसाइड्स तुम्हाला त्याच्यासाठी वापरावं लागतात. इनसॅटिएबल मीन्स टू मेक देम satisfy these crops you have to use lot of pesticides and urea and other things. Appetite means desire for chemicals, so new crops need more and more fertilizers. He told us that even when there were flash floods in the 60s, Kasbai had stood its ground. He fondly remembered how the rice was still standing when they all returned to the village after the floods had receded. Such was the strength of the rice. But look what we have done, he rued. So once again he informed them that in 60s there, because of flood situation, they left their village, and when they returned back they found that only one crop remained properly, and that was Kasbai crop. So that was the strength of that rice. In flood situation they remain firmly. मित्रांनो, त्यांनी इथं सांगितलं की तुम्ही हायब्रिडकडे वळताय, हायब्रिडमुळे तुम्हाला सुरुवातीला उत्पन्न ते येतं आहे, परंतु नंतर ती उत्पन्न कमी होत जातं आहे. जर तुम्ही पेस्टिसाइड्स, केमिकल्स, खत, युरिया हे कमी केलं तर तुमचं उत्पन्नसुद्धा कमी होतं आहे, जमिनीचा पोत तुमचा खराब होतो आहे. तर ह्या गोष्टी होत आहे हायब्रिडमुळे. आता त्याच वेळेस त्यांनी एक गोष्ट ह्या कसबाई नावाच्या वाहनाच्या सांगितली, ती म्हणजे काय, तर हा वाहन पावसामध्ये सुद्धा तग धरून राहणारा वाहन होता. मग 1960मध्ये ज्यावेळेस पूर सदृश परिस्थिती निर्माण झाली आणि गाव पाण्याने वेढले गेलं, त्यावेळेस पूर ओसल्यानंतर आम्ही आल्यानंतर आम्हाला जे पीक दिसलं ते म्हणजे कसबाई होतं. एवढं स्ट्रॉंग पद्धतीने ते कसबाईचं रोपं तग धरून उभी होती. As he went on reminiscing about the rice, we gently guided him back to the reason for our visit, the Kasbai seeds. He was sure that there was not a single village in his area who would have the seeds of Kasbai. According to him, the only people who still grew it were the Adivasis in hamlet at the foothills of mountains in the next village, Asarwari. So they asked at last the Kasbai seeds, and he denied it that he himself don't have these seeds now, but you can get these seeds from Adivasi people living in Asawari village at the foothill of mountains in a small hamlet. मित्रांनो, इथं त्यांनी महत्त्वाची गोष्ट त्याला विचारली की कुठे आम्हाला हे कसबाई नावाचे ह्या नवीन वाणाचे लुप्त झालेल्या वाणाचे सीड्स मिळतील, बिया मिळतील. तर त्यांनी सांगितलं की इथं आजूबाजूला कोणाकडनंच तुम्हाला मिळणार नाही, परंतु आसवारी नावाचं जे व्हिलेज आहे, एक छोटं खेडं आहे, पाडा आहे, त्या पाड्यावर तुम्हाला आदिवासींकडं ह्या कसबाई नावाच्या ह्या वाणाचे बिया मिळतील. We bid farewell to Dev Handa, who lovingly blessed us and said Mahalakshmi, the local goddess, will give you the seeds Kasbai. So we bid farewell, we say goodbye to that Dev Handa, and at that time he blessed us that you will get successfully these seeds of Kasbai there. Goddess Mahalakshmi will help you, will bless you in your effort. In Asarwari village, we asked the Sarpanch to help us as we were not very fluent with the local dialects. He sent his assistant Jivan with us into the hills. After a half-hour walk through thick vegetation, crossing numerous streams, ditches, and scrambling over rocks and gravel, we reached the sleepy hamlet of Boripada. There were just two ramshackle houses in front of us, and we wondered if this was the right place. In Asarwari village, they met a Sarpanch. They requested Sarpanch that it is not possible to communicate with these Adivasis directly because we don't know their language. So he sent assistant Jivan with us. After our half-hour walk through thick vegetation, they walked through jungle, crossing numerous streams and ditches, climbed big rocks, walk on gravel, and they reached Boripada, sleepy hamlet of Boripada. There were just two ramshackle houses in front of us. We wondered if this was the right place, and at last at Boripada they reached there, and there were two houses and their condition was not so good. They were suspect about whether they will get these Kasbai seeds here or not. A wrinkled old woman sitting before one of the houses looked at us with curiosity. As we approached her, we signaled to Jivan to ask the crucial question. She muttered in reply, and we looked at Jivan for quick interpretation. He broke into a smile and informed us that she did have the rice and wanted to know who we were and why we wanted it. So Jivan asked that women whether they have Kasbai seeds available or not, and in Adivasi dialect she informed Jivan that yes, they have Kasbai seeds with them. and this information is given by Jeevan to Venkat Iyer, and Venkat Iyer became very happy. It was a difficult task to keep a straight face, and I had to control a strong desire to hug her. After searching for months, we had found the elusive Kasbai. We explained to her that we were from pit nearby and we needed the seeds to grow it. We asked for 10 kilograms of rice. She muttered and scowled. Jivan interpreted that she had never heard of pet village and also did not have a weighing scale. She was willing to give the seeds only in baskets. So they asked 10 kilograms of rice from that women, and they inform her that they are coming from pet village. Pet village was very new for her. She hadn't heard about pet, and she informed them that weighing scale is not available with her, so she can give these seeds in bags to them. We asked for a single basket of rice, and Jivan told us to pay her something. I handed over a 100 rupee note, and for the first time in the last 10 minutes, her face broke into a smile. She nodded her head in approval. So after taking one bag, Jivan handed over 100 rupee note to that woman, and she became very happy. As we walked back against the fading sunset, leaving behind a smiling old lady, I couldn't help but wonder that here, nestling in the foothills of an unknown mountain, away from the hustle and bustle of the road or the city, were the real people of India. These were the people who still held on the rich biodiversity of our land, and no one even cared about them. They had never heard of hybrids, fertilizers, or pesticides. They just grew their rice and ate what they got. The old lady we met had probably never left Boripada. So they became very happy, and that writer is trying to tell us that these people save biodiversity. Because of them, our biodiversity became rich, because these varieties can be saved by these people who are living in remote area. मित्रांनो, आसरवरी व्हिलेजमध्ये सरपंचाशी बोलल्यानंतर सरपंचांना यांनी सांगितलं की आम्हाला लोकल डायलेक्ट्स, लोकल भाषा येत नाही आदिवासींची, तर तुम्ही कोणतरी मदतनीस द्या. आणि मदतनीस म्हणून ह्या लोकांबरोबर जीवन नावाचा एक मनुष्य ह्या सरपंचांनी पाठवला. अर्थात अर्धा तास ते चालत गेले जंगलामधून. अनेक छोट्या मोठे स्ट्रीम्स, छोट्या मोठे नद्या नाले त्यांनी पार केले. त्याच्यानंतर अनेक चढ त्यांनी चढले. खडका प्रदेशामधून ते चालले आणि शेवटी एक वस्ती बोरीपाड्याची तिथपर्यंत पोहोचले. त्या बोरीपाड्याच्या वस्तीवर आल्यानंतर त्यांना दोन घरं, एकदम मोडकळीस आलेले दोन घरं त्यांना दिसले. आणि त्या घराच्या पुढे एक वृद्ध महिला त्यांच्याकडे एकदम आश्चर्यचकित होऊन बघत असलेली त्यांनी बघितलं. जीवनला त्यांनी पुढं केलं आणि तिला विचारायला लावलं की इथे तुमच्याकडे कसबाई नावाचं जो वाण आहे त्याचे सीड्स मिळतील का, बिया मिळतील का. आणि त्या जीवननी त्यांना सांगितलं की हो, ह्या महिलेकडे ते अवेलेबल आहे. यांचा आनंद गगनात मावेनासा झाला. त्यांनी तिला सांगितलं की आम्ही पेठवरनं आलेलो आहे. तिला पेठ नावाचं व्हिलेज इथं आजूबाजूला आहे का ते सुद्धा माहीत नव्हतं. ती घरामध्ये गेली आणि तिने मग त्याच्यानंतर तिला 10 किलोमीटर अंतरावर पेठ व्हिलेज हे सुद्धा तिला माहीत नव्हतं. तिने मग ते सीड्स द्यायचं कबूल केलं. परंतु मोजमाप करण्यासाठी काही वजन नसल्या कारणाने बॅगमध्ये तिने भरून ठेवलं. ती बॅग मी देईल असं तिने सांगितलं आणि एक बॅग त्यांनी मिळवली आणि ह्या जीवांकडे त्यांनी 100 रुपये दिले की जे जीवांनी त्या महिलेला दिले. ती महिला खूप आनंदी झाली 100 रुपये बघितल्यानंतर. आता इथं लेखक आपल्याला सांगताय की दूरवर शहराच्या गोंगाटापासून लांब एकांतवासामध्ये हे राहणारे हे लोक, यांच्यामुळे खरोखरच हे जे बायोडायव्हर्सिटी आहे, आपले जे आदिवासी आजूबाजूचा तो चांगला राहतो आहे, भरभराटीत होतो आहे ह्या लोकांमुळे. कारण ही काळजी घेत आहे त्याची. त्यांनी कधीच हायब्रिड ऐकलेलं नसतं, त्यांनी कधीच खत किंवा कीटकनाशकांबद्दल ऐकलेलं नसतं. ते फक्त जे पिकेल, जेवढं येईल तेवढं खाताय, त्याच्यावर गुजराण करताय. अशी ही महिला कायमची लेखकाला आठवत राहील. हर वर्ल्ड वॉज अनस्पॉइल्ड बाय प्रोग्रेस अँड ऑर वन्स आय वॉज ग्रेटफुल फॉर दॅट. की दे सर्वाइव इन नॅचरल condition and that natural world remain unspoiled. So he became grateful because that women provided that kasbai seeds to writer. So it is end of this particular lesson. Friends, it is a search of kasbai, that particular variety of rice, and successfully he grew that kasbai in his field. And if he successfully grow that kasbai variety in his field, so it is his successful story to search kasbai variety of rice. Thank you.